Hi there, Matt here. I have a video here to explain how to correctly set up and map custom fields in your workflow automation software. In this case, we're using Pabbly Connect. So this tutorial is going to show you how to do that and set that up correctly in Pabbly Connect. So you might have some issues with your workflow in Pabbly Connect, and I've identified there's an issue in this particular workflow as far as custom fields go. If I scroll all the way down to the router section, which in Pabbly Connect is always at the end, I have, when it relates to this software here, Plutio, always put it in brackets and prefix the software that's relating to, just as a little tip for you. If I scroll down to current step, this one here, number 46, is incorrect as far as going. There'll be an error in this workflow because it's relating to a search function. It's searching for a field and it's dependent on making sure that search is true. The statement is true. So if it's searching for a person, it'll only display that custom field if it can find the person. But there's an issue with that because this workflow relates to a quotation request. So it's unlikely that this person is going to be in the system anyway. Therefore, when this workflow is triggered by a form submission, which at the very start is this Fluent Forms, a WordPress plugin form builder software. If that person is not currently in this software, Plutio, it's not going to return the desired field, and the desired field is critical. So how do we overcome that? We want to make sure, and the solution I'm going to show you is relating to setting a standard, easy custom field save variable in the form of whatever you want to make it, and you can simply copy and paste it into your workflow without mapping in every single workflow. It's going to be a global custom field we're going to create in this instance, and how that would look is if you click on here and we'll go to current step, you'll notice that we've got a custom field we have created. It looks different from all the others. So it's got brackets, and then you have this Plutio project current step, as opposed to, you click on here, we go to current step, and it's referring to a section that may not exist. So it's not going to return that, and therefore there's going to be an error. So how do we create that? We're going to create one from scratch, and we're going to use this service type as an example. So we're going to recreate this one here. It's going to return a service type. So whatever service business you have, you might have different products and different services. That's what that means. So if I go to Plutio, it's a project management CRM software and also finance package I quite like. And I'm not going to go into too much details, but we can do another video on that one. If I go to the project fields, and we're going to recreate the service type. So click on service type. So what we want this identifier here. Because if we go to, as an example, to show you what we did with the other one, if I go back one, we go to current step, as you can see, I88, so that custom field identifier is what we did. So how do we find that? So what we do, how do we create a custom field so we can use it globally? So we go to our dashboard, so the main screen, we click on settings, click on variables. So this is the one we have previously created. So Plutio project current step. And if you recall, the code or the ID is I88. And if you scroll back here, it was right at the top, I88. So that's how we created that. So we're going to create one for the service type. So we're simply going to copy that, go back to the variables, we'll click on add variable. What data do you want to use? We'll do that. We want to call it a service type. So when you name these custom variables, there can't be any spaces. So if you have many words in your custom variable, it's best to have a title case, so uppercase for the first letter. So I like to do Plutio. I always like to start with the software in question, and it relates to service type. So now we should have, we can save that. So now we should have two custom variables, as you can see here, and I can simply copy that, go to, so how do we input the new custom field we just created, the one we created for service type? So we go to the section where we want to paste it, the module. In this case, we click on here, we find service type, so it's number 7. We're going to simply replace what is existing there. So the ID is going to be the same. If you notice, QKKB, we go back up here, QKKB, that's the one we want, and we had named it. I'm just going to delete, paste, Plutio service type, and there we have it. So that might help you in time. There may be situations where you may change the ID or what you've mapped for whatever reason. If you need to update it, you would actually just go into the variable section, click on update, and you can change the ID. So if the ID changes, you just paste it in once here at the global variables section, and it's going to update your other workflows without going into every single workflow individually, and that's going to save you a lot of time. It's also potentially going to save you on task usage, because you're only going to get, depending on what plan you're on and how much data is coming into your system, you know, in this case got 22,000 allotted. Okay, so if you have your workflows set up not very efficiently, and you're always, each individual workflow is independent of one another, and it's always searching and pulling in data from that workflow, you might be using unnecessary tasks to find the information. So what do I mean by that? So just for the sake of returning a variable, that might take up a task. So if there's any constants in your workflow, you could paste that and use that as a custom variable to save time, tasks, make it more efficient. Also save you with fault finding of your tasks. So what's an example? So this one here, this could potentially be a waste of a task. So every time it goes through this API request, get custom fields, if you're only using one of the line items, you could place that into a custom variable and save it being a task. And that, you might say, well, that's only one task, but if you have lots of data coming into your workflows, that's going to, over time, save thousands and thousands. So hopefully you have a lot of data coming into your workflows, because you're trying to save time and you're trying to save money as well and make it more efficient for you. So hopefully that's been of help for you. So we went over how to create a custom variable to use that globally to save time, to save task usage, and also create better efficiencies in your workflows. So hopefully that's been of benefit for you. Any feedback or comments welcome. If you got some value out of this video, consider subscribing and liking this video too. Thanks for your support. Bye for now. Matt K. Cheers.